So now that I'm fresh off of Seraph of the End, I figured one of my last videos of the month pertaining to Halloween better have to do with vampires. Now, I was kind of gripping between two different vampire series, so I think I'm going to try to cover both. We'll see if I have time. Today's anime has to do with the topic of 7 deadly sins, a particular genre, topic, story, plot point that I have found to be very interesting since I saw my very first ever true anime. I know how you all think. Y'all are thinking 7 deadly sins? You mean the anime 7 deadly sins? No, I don't. No offense, but this anime looks like hot garbage. I'm sorry, I'm just speaking my truth. The more and more I see of this anime, the more and more trash it seems to become. This animation is terrible, and I cannot bring myself to watch it. I am so sorry. So no, I'm talking 2003's Full Metal Alchemist. I consider that my first anime. The 7 scenes in there are all so cool, creative, and the anime original ones I feel in particular are that much more tragic and amazing and well written. So, there is that. And the anime I'm about to talk about, I wouldn't have watched without this particular anime, in my opinion. By the way, my favorite ever sin, homunculus that is none other than... And I don't mean this or this adorable pride, but this pride. Only OG fans will know what's going on with this pride. Oh my gosh, he had his own fan base. All that aside, let's talk about the anime in question that I should have been focusing on from the get-go. Servamp. This is the anime you should be watching. If you like 7 deadly sins, if you like vampires, if you like some oh yay shipping moments, well then Servamp is for you, man. It is the perfect anime for Seraph of the End people to jump off onto in a new fandom. It's basically gay vampires, honestly. I don't think there's really any canon pairings at all. And yeah, it's just full of shippable moments, and the author and creators know what they're doing. Plus, now that there's an essential version, you can get it for super cheap. Super cheap. We're talking like 20 some bucks, maybe even cheaper because Black Friday's coming up. Who knows? Definitely see if it's on sale and purchase it. The story's premise is pretty basic at its core. There are 8 major vampires that were created by this dude, and each vampire is represented by a sin. And I said 8. You'll find out more why there's 8, not 7, if you watch the anime. And each vampire is a creator of many other vampires or servants. Okay, you following me? Now, 7 of the 8 vampires or sinful vampires each have had a human master throughout their lifetime. It changes as one grows old and dies, and so on and so forth. But one of them in particular has not had a human master whom they drink blood from for a long time, because frankly, it's too much effort. Naturally, I am talking about sloth. By the way, they encompass their sin. Their personality practically centers around it. Also, they all turn into cute little animals that reflect their personality stuff. It's cute. Of course, Sloth turns into a cute little black kitty, and he doesn't want to drink a master's blood, so he never takes one. He also has no servants because he says it's too much of a pain, but also he doesn't make servants or turn people into vampires because he doesn't want to make a choice. Like he does as much as he can to do as little as he can. However, through an accident, he ends up being paired with a human who is the least lazy and will do anything he can to help anybody because because he's that type of person. Like, this guy was never slowing down. He was taking on way too many duties and helping way too many people. He was spreading himself thin, pretty much. So it's pretty funny, opposites pair, if you ask me. The pair's interactions are comedic at best, but also, like I said before, there's a lot of shipping, especially between the vampires and their masters. And for this pair alone, it's worth watching, but every vampire has something interesting about them and their own unique story. I never really read the manga except for like the first 2 volumes, so I don't know how more deeply it goes into manga-wise, but anime, for the most part, it only focuses on 3 of the pairs. The anime really deprives us of gluttony and wrath, which I think is too bad, but you get to see a little bit. Also be warned that the anime, I believe, has original anime ending, because at the time of making it, the manga was not that far along. I think there was only like 6 or 7, if that, volumes out. Don't quote me on this. It's been a while. But yeah, I think the ending is pretty good, and it wraps up things for that type of story, so you don't even really need to read the manga unless you want to expand yourself. They did expand more on the manga series through an anime movie, which centered on an arc focusing specifically on Lust and his human. You're gonna love Lust human, by the way. His weapon is a chair. I'm not gonna explain much because I'm already trying to be extremely vague about this anime, so you'll watch it. But yeah, it's funny. This is Lust, by the way, or as his human calls him, Lily, because the human names the vampire, and that's how they build a contract. So his name is technically Lily, and his animal form is a pretty butterfly. I love him so much. Lily is best boy. Best perverted boy. Anyways, just trust me. Go watch Servamp. It's the best vampire anime in my opinion. I mean, Seraph of the End was okay, but I didn't leave, Servamp thinking, man, I need to know more. I felt satisfied with how the anime ended, and I was okay with leaving it there. I didn't feel like I needed more answers. I mean, I could have used more answers, but at the same time, I was like, this is fine. I'm okay with this. I wasn't okay with Seraph of the End. I wasn't at all.